Hey guys, today I want to go over a few things in Google Slides. Just kind of put a tutorial together for you guys that you can watch and learn from and sort of see how to do some things. And to do that, I want to use the assignment that I give out to the sixth graders that asks them to create their own flag. So first thing that anyone ever wants to do when they are tasked with an assignment is you want to check and see what the directions are. So top left quadrant, make the background the color of your birth month. And that's on the next slide. So my birth month is June, but we'll say that it's December just because I want to do a different color than what's up here. So click on December. Now, how do we get this color to show up over here on this slide right here? Well, that's pretty simple. We can copy and go over here to the slide that has the flag on it, click on an area and paste. Now, all we have to do is slide this over and put it in the right spot. So if I grab this corner here and I drag, I can put it in the right position. Now I've got that quadrant covered in the color that I need it. And I click out. Now we're good. So in doing that, I covered up part of this area. But let's say that I still want this full area. As long as it's selected, I can come up here to Arrange. And when I click on Arrange and I go down to Order, I can select Bring Forward or Bring to the Front. In this instance, they'd both be the same. I'm going to bring this all the way to the front. And now this is the top thing. What you got to think of when you put these things together is you're actually kind of looking down on top of a bunch of different layers. Right now, this happens to be the top layer. If I went back, now I've told the computer that I want this to be the top layer on top of everything else. But that isn't really what I want. So go to Arrange, Order, Bring to the Front, and there you go. Let's say that I wanted to change this color again, or let's use this quadrant down here. Let's say that I wanted to change this color from gray to something a little bit more colorful. Go up here to the paint bucket. This is the fill color. And let's say that I wanted to use a purple for Piper. I just select the color that I want. If I want the outline of this to be a different color, then I go over here and let's say, see how this now shows up as that other color. I don't like that, but it doesn't look great. But if I wanted to change how thick that line is, I could make it really thick. Now you can see that. I don't think it looks great, but I'm just showing you how to change the thickness of a line right there. Let's say I didn't want a solid line and I wanted a line that was kind of, let me select that. I wanted a line that was maybe dashed or something like that. I could change it by clicking on the object and then going to the border dash or just a straight line. You would do that here. Okay. All right. So I hate this weird looking color on top of the purple. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to change this to the same color as the area right there. Okay. Now, I also need to know how to put words in places where there aren't any already. So I'm going to go up here to the T that is inside the box. I'm going to click on that. And then I'm going to come in here to the middle and make myself a text box, and we'll just put my flag right there. That looks very uninteresting. So I'm going to click on my text. I'm going to select it. And the first thing I'm going to do is make it a little bit bigger so that it takes up more space. Then I'm going to center the text. And then I'm going to make sure that it is right in the middle, both up and down, just like that. And I also kind of want to pick a font that's a little bit more interesting. So I'm going to go over here to font and click on that. Now I have a bunch of different fonts I can choose from. There are, feels like millions. So don't get too bogged down in this, but we'll try luckiest guy that sticks out. And let's say that I don't love this just being, solid black. Maybe I want a different text color. If I want to change the text color, I have to come up here and click on the A with the line underneath it. And we'll say that I'm going to go with what would look good on top of that? Maybe a light purple. Okay, that's okay, but it doesn't really pop. So there's something I can do to make it show up a lot better. I'm going to select this, and then I'm going to go up to format options, and I'm going to click on my format options. And I'm going to put a drop shadow in, and watch what happens when I put the drop shadow in. It actually gives it a little bit of a shadow. If I click out, okay, that's nice. That gives it a good shadow. That'd probably work. But let's see if I could make it even thicker. I'm going to change the transparency. Remember, transparent means you can see through it. If I don't want to be able to see through it at all, I bring it all the way down to 0. If I want it to almost not show up, then I go all the way to 100% transparency, which means that it's not going to show up at all. I liked what it looked like when it was down there. If I change the angle, I like 130 degrees. That kind of makes it look like the sun is shining on it, and it casts a shadow that way. Distance, blur radius, you can mess with that too. It just changes things like how shadowy it looks. And the distance thing is obviously the further away you go, the further away the shadow is going to go. So I like this. That looks all right. That looks pretty cool. What else could I show you guys? Oh, let's bring an image in. If you want to bring an image in, you would go to Insert. Now, this is if you've already gotten your image in your Google Drive. We'll go to Insert, an image. You guys would go to your Google Drive. In fact, I can do that as well. Let's find an image in my Google Drive. Maybe our pirate. That'll work. So we're going to click on it and insert, or we can just double click. And now my pirate face that I've got is going to show up. And if I move it around, you'll notice that it's a PNG file. So there is no background. If you have an image that has a background with it that's kind of noisy and it doesn't seem to fit, you can watch my video on how to remove a background, and that'll show you how to do that. Let's bring this guy down into this quadrant. Let's say I want to have the eye patch on my pirate on the left eye instead of the right eye. What I would need to do is I would go up here to the Arrange tab again, and I go down to Rotate, and now I could do a lot of things. I could rotate him that way. I don't like that, so I'm going to go back. I could flip him horizontally, and what that's going to do is watch what happens to his eye patch. Goes to the other side. That looks really strange to me because of how used I am to seeing it the other way. So I'm going to go back on that. Now that looks normal again. For my flag assignment, remember, I wanted not just the color of the month, but also the day. So I'm going to go back up here to my text box. I'm going to make a new text box. And let's say I was born on the 13th. Click out. Now that's way too small. That's not going to show up on a flag. So I'm going to click on this again. I'm going to enlarge it. We're going to make it really big. Let's go all the way to 60. What do you say? All right, that's cool. Let's center it. And now let's find a font again that we like. Maybe we go with Impact on this one. And I don't love just regular black, so we're going to go with our font, our text color. We're going to go with maybe something in the light yellow range. Okay, that works. I bet it'll work really well with a drop shadow. There we go. Transparency down to 0, angle at 130. Again, that's just how I like to do it. I feel like we could even make this bigger. So let's go to 72. There we go. Now that shows up. And that is how you can do a few things with your Google Slides.